Hi guys, welcome to the flight this evening as we're down in Anchorage and we're going to be doing a flight to Juneau just over the other side of Alaska. Flight time should be around an hour and 15 minutes and we're going with the lovely Alaska Airlines, honouring those who serve. So we're in the USA tonight and we're going to be going in for the LDA X08 approach, which will be the localizer directional aid, so it'll be coming down on the localizer and the VNAV. So it should be a fun approach, and then we'll fly in visually just to come over the tip of the this little mountain and come in for runway 08. So don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, help us get to that 2k subscriber goal, and now we can get into the aircraft and start the aircraft up ready for departure. Okay, so we're in the 737-800 now. So what we're going to do is we'll go on our overhead, we'll put our battery on and guarded, standby power is guarded with ground power, which is on. Go to bat and ground power. We'll go overhead now and we'll get the irises aligned, which is set. After that we can go and test our max speed warning test and everything else. Got the dome light, which is on to bright. Turn on the panel lights now. Get them all nice. I've added a different preset into the Reshade to give them more vibrant colours, so hopefully we can see that on the finished flight that we're doing now. So after that we'll go ahead and get the trim out, we'll turn on our window heats and we'll leave our probes till just before we go. Actually we'll get them on now. There we go, we'll get the APU bleed ready as we are going to shoot off very fast. We'll leave them for runway 33. Let the APU start up now. We've got the packs on, isolation valves open, leave the APU bleed on, and we get everything else all set. So we're going to the FMC, we'll get our center console panel lights on. We'll go down. So the iris is now ready to be done. So we're going to our position. We've got Papa Alpha November Charlie. We'll take the left GPS, we'll show it into there. Then we've got Papa Alpha Juliet November for Juneau. Going to be departing out of runway 33 and we're going to be taking the no end 4. Then on our route to no end we are basically, as it's going to be pretty short, here on the arrival we are going to come from Bergs, so we can put that in, which will then line us up straight up for our arrival. As we come in, there is no star or anything, but we're coming in for the LDA X08, which is the localizer directional aid X-ray 08 approach, and we're going to transition for Bergs, which is 39 nautical miles from Sisters Island VOR, where we'll then make a left turn onto the 007, which will then line us up, as you can see, for Linz at 5,600. And then we'll start our descent down in the VNAV and we'll lock on with the VOR lock for the localizer. Coming down on the 071, localizer's offset by 14 degrees. So as we come down on the 071, we'll then turn on to the 085. We'll run visual from our minimums, which are going to be 3002. So around 3003 we'll disconnect and we'll fly down visually. So should be a really nice flight in today. So down at Bergs we can activate that up. On our perf we'll get our weights and everything in. We've got reserves of 3. On our cost index today, if we have a look at the charts, we've got a cost index of 39. We're going for a flight level of 350. On our ISA as well, which we can have a look, we've got 198 030, and for our ISA, which will be your minus 52, which we can set in, which is all set. Trans is 18,000. As we're in the US, we go for full takeoff and full climb. which is all set to go there. On our flaps 5 setting, got 143, 145 and a 153 for V2, so we can go plug that as well. Which is set. We can turn on the flight directors, leave the auto throttles until after we get near to takeoff. We can arm them. So that's all said and done now. Everything's all set there for the runway. On the wind, that's going to be 270-19. Okay, verify takeoff speeds. Everything all the same, nothing's changed, which is all good to go. So we'll go overhead now, we'll change onto the APU, we'll get our pumps aligned, we'll turn on the yaw damper, we'll get our electrics on as well. Go over to the APU gen, we're going for 350, and elevation down is 25 feet, so we don't need to worry about changing that too much. Okay, so as we're all set here, as we come out on the no end 4, you can see that we're going to leave out on the 329 above 600 feet. We'll make that left turn for 3000 at ASUS, and then we'll make a left max 230 knots to make that right turn back forward to 117. Now whether the VNAV, because it is an RNAV, whether the VNAV will follow these paths, we'll see. I did the flight before and it didn't follow the constraints, so we'll see how it goes anyway. What we can do now is we'll put in the QNHs, which I'm going to get quickly just by doing this. There we go, so 2945. Okay, which is set. Leaving out of runway on 33, we're going to be going for the 329 heading, which is set. 153, 329, and 329, which is set. So we are now all ready to go. So what we can do is we can call the tug. We'll drop all of our flaps back so we can get them all in. As the aircraft probably loaded in from a previous flight that was just flying. So apologies for that. So we've got the aircraft all ready now, so we'll call the tug and then we can depart out. Okay, so tug's going to come now and lift us up, so we can get a view of that as he comes in for the wheels. Now I am using the beta version of X-Plane 11 Vulcan, and I've noticed since the latest beta there's a few like micro stutters, so hopefully that gets resolved, as the sim's been perfect since. So we'll see how she handles today, and hopefully she handles.
Alright, so looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Okay, so we will remove everything now as we are all set to go. Go overhead now quickly, and we'll put our packs to off position. Engine starts to both. Got everything, probes are to steady, and we've got the anti-collisions on, so we'll go ahead and release the parking brake.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Okay, so lighten them up. We'll go for engine number 2. Okay, so for engine number 2, we can also let in the centre pumps as well. Start valves open, N2's increasing, oil pressure's now come to life and activated. 25% inject the fuel, so there's 23, 24, 25, and in comes the EGT rising now as the engine starts to switch itself on. So wait for the exhaust gas temperature to stabilise, and then we'll move on to engine number 1. Okay, so there's engine number 2 now switched over. So we'll go now to engine number 1. So there's a start valve open. Okay, so we're all set to go. Tugs are now going to back off. We'll come out the north terminal. As you can see, we'll go along Golf 1, we'll take a right onto Lima, we'll take a left onto Romeo, and a right onto
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, so we'll switch over now. We'll go to the gen buses. We'll put the PACs back on, the isolation valve to auto. The APU can go off with the APU bleed. We'll switch over to gen 1. Tell the cabin now to get ready, as we are all ready to set off. So what we can do is we'll release the parking brake, and we'll start to taxi on up to runway 33. So auto brake can be set to RTO. We can arm the auto throttle now. LNAV and VNAV can go in as well, as we now taxi down. And as you can see here on our taxi charts, could probably slip a right onto Mike. We'll take a left onto Golf 1. So as you can see now, we are now going to make a right turn onto Lima. And then we can see the right on for the Golf 1, where we'll carry on now, continue to go straight, and then we'll take that left to right for runway 33. So I've done a little bit more twigging on the reshade as well. Should be some more colour when we come in. So there's Romeo there, which we're going to take now onto our left. Then we'll take the first right onto Kilo, and then we'll be ready for takeoff. So we're going to take this first right here, just before 25 right. Okay, so runway 33 on Kilo. We'll now power on it and go to line up on the runway. So we'll go runway tunnel scan, go onwards, turn our strobes on, we'll get our wing and wheel well ready. As we're all ready to go for takeoff. Now, one thing I did want to put in is the CG is 26.0, which gives us a trim of 5. So we'll do that just before takeoff. So cabin's ready now for us to depart. So here we are now, runway 33, we can just stop here for a moment. Okay, so we'll go overhead now, put our landing lights on, everything is all on underneath and is all good to go. Auto brake is RTO, flaps are 5, everything is all ready for us to leave. So what we can do is we can release the brake, we'll go to 45%, and just before I do that, we'll set our trim, which is going to go to 5, there we go. So, now we're all set to go. So, release the brake, we'll go to 45%. Got a little bit of wind as well, as we tuck in, and so we go. Airspeed live.
80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold.
V1 rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
.400.
Check. Auto brake can go off. Gear is now up and we can turn the gear off as well. So get ready now, we can go to our departure.
1000.
And we're going to be turning now as we get ready to make that left turn. Passing through 1,000 feet now, we could put the autopilot in, but we'll fly manually for now. So make that left turn now as we come around the bend. Max 230 around the whole circuit between on our left turn now. Okay, as we get ready to come back. 3,000 feet. Okay, so we go to flaps 1 as we get ready to turn in. Okay, 3,000 above, and we'll go to our flaps up, and now we can make that right turn. Okay, there's our 230 that we need to follow, so we'll follow the flight director now as we bank up. So, gear is off, auto brake is off as well. As we start now to slow down back to 230, we can put the engine start switches to continuous. As we follow around all the way to Liffey, where Liffey's going to take us all the way out onto the 030, we'll then take a right turn onto the 117. There's 030, and then once approaching Liffey, we'll then go on to the 117, which will then take us all the way down through Noen. So now we're going to the 117, which is set, and we can start to speed up now to 250, as we're just passing Liffey now. Passing through 7,500 feet. It's ready to break through the clouds. Okay, so back in now, ready for the 117 as we come up. There's 250, just approaching 9,000 feet. And then once we go over 10,000 feet, we can knock off our landing lights and then we can speed up to our cruise speed. Okay, so there's 10,000 feet. Gonna stay here for a little while, so landing lights can go up and off, runway turn-offs, taxis, wing can go off and wheel well, and we can tell the cabin to relax. Okay, so as we start to speed up, going up to 290. Okay, so we'll start to increase the angle of descent just up a little, and now we're going to that left turn. Passing through 11,000 feet now. Okay, 290. Just coming up near our speed. So we've got auto brake, which is off, we've got our flaps which are up and off, no lights, gear is up, no lights. Just coming round now, so then we can make that straight ahead for no end. And as you can see, we are nice and stable now climbing, so we can have a quick look. We're going to head for craft, and then we've got rammer, and then no end will be straight over 12,008, which is past now, so we're going up to 350. So what we can do now is we just lower the nose a little bit. Now turn on the flight director, passing through 13,400 feet. As the aircraft now has control. As we blast through the clouds, should be a really nice arrival today when we come into Juneau. So passing 14,003. Now currently heading on the 086. And you see we've got lovely cloud coverage. Let's go. Okay, so passing through 16,200 feet now. Got our way to 350. Clouds looking lovely and white. So our after takeoff checklist was complete. We've got air conditioning and pressurization, which is set. Start switches are continuous, which is checked. Anti-ice, which can now go on, which is set. After that, we've got the auto brake, which is off. We've got our flaps up, no lights, and our altimeters will be set after 18,000 feet, which we are 1,000 feet away from right now. Okay, 17,006. Okay, QNHs can now go over to standard, passing 18,000, got a little bit of turbulence to go through a patch of rough air. On our way to no end, currently 15 nautical miles away. Going up to our cruising altitude of flight level 350. Currently I've got quite a few Reshade presets. Just changed one today, the original one that we've been using on the flight, so just basically updated it a little and put in a little bit more colour, and combined with another reset that I made a long time ago. This is another preset that I made today, so if any of you guys want it, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to send it over. Make sure you join the Discord, as it'll be in my Discord for you to download. So currently now making that right turn as we've got winds just battling us off. You can see that the aircraft is getting pushed around just a little on our way up, passing through 20,000. So as we climb up now, minus 13, passing through flight level 210 now, as we just come past these lovely mountains. As you see, the airs are not very nice up at these levels. Should be alright when we come down. We may have a crosswind, but we'll fly onto a visual when we do come down. So currently now we're going to be heading for Bergs onto the 092. Okay, which is set. So as we now head down towards Bergs, we can go to our takeoff cinematics, guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, helps get us that 2k subscriber goal, and I'll see you at our top of descent when it's time for us to come back in for the arrival down into Juneau for the LDA X-ray 08 approach for runway 08. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. Just near for our top of descent. We're going to descend down as we want to get to SRI for SSR, which is 7 Island, for around 94 miles. So we're going to start our descent just a little earlier from a 350, and we're going to go down to 7,000. Okay, which is also set, so we can basically tell the FMC to descend now, as we'll stay on profile. So 7,000, and now the aircraft is going to start to descend as we come down into lovely Juneau for the localizer directional approach, or localizer the directional aid approach for the X-ray of 08. So coming in now for the Sisters Island is the 114.0, so we can flip that round. 114.0, which is set, as we can see. Okay, so passing through 33,000. Our top of descent marker was a little bit too early when coming on, so we would have started the descent a little bit too late coming down. So we're currently heading down now onto the 007. That's where we're going to intercept at Sisters Island. Currently heading on the 098 as we're a little bit off track, as we're now going to go for 007, which is set as we make our way down now onto the runway. We're going down and enter into Bergs. We're 52 miles away from Bergs, passing through flight level 330. We've already left the VNAV path, should we say, as you can see the vertical deviation as we've left, because we started our descent earlier. As we worked out, our top of descent marker was just a little bit too close to where we wanted to be. We needed to descend a little bit earlier than that, so that's basically what we did, and worked out around about 93 miles from SSR, which is Sisters Island. We needed to come down. Once we hit Bergs, we're going to be 39 DME from SSR, which is Sisters Island, which is our initial approach fix. Now we can see we've got the initial fix and the initial approach fix. If we were coming from this end straight up, it would be 7,000 to Linz, and then you'd see 6,003, and that's where you turn around to backtrack in. As we're coming from Sisters Island, that's our initial approach fix, and our transition was at Bergs to come in for 08 on the X-ray. So we'll come down 7,000 on the 101 track, and then once we hit Sisters Island, we'll be then turning left onto the 007 at 5,600 feet, where we will enter practically here to then go down onto the descent. And that is practically how we're going to do it. We're going to use the localizer for the LDA, the localizer directional aid. So we'll use the localizer, which is offset by 14 degrees, so we'll be coming down on the 071, but we'll end up on the 085 once you make the turn visually, coming down onto the runway. So passing flight level 310 now, as we are aiming into the runway. We can check our progress as well, and we can see Sisters Island is 78 miles away. On our descent, we can see our vertical bearing. Vertical bearing is 2.8, flight path angle is 1.2, because we are coming down for 1,000 feet until the vertical deviation comes down, and then we will continue to come down for our expected descent. So you can see the vertical deviation is descending, so we'll keep to 1,000 feet. And then once we pass our middle mark, we will then start to follow the descent path down, as we normally would have if we was starting at our top of descent point. So put the auto brake to number 3, which is set. Got start switches which are continuous, which are set. Got 35,000, which was on our flight altitude, which was our cruise. 23 feet, 25 feet is down at Juneau. We'd leave that at 0. Okay, so now on the VNAV path, we are now following the vertical deviation as we come down now 2,000 feet. We can check our flight path angle to our vertical bearing, which is now picked up, so we have started to descend 2,350 feet if we want to get to Sisters Island, sorry. So we are practically on the glide path now, coming down for the VNAV. Currently heading now on the 101, it should be the 101. As we follow 7,039 miles from Bergs. We're currently 20 miles out from Bergs right now, as we start to descend now through flight level 270. So start switches are continuous. we've got our auto brake set to number 3. We'll go in and get our approach figures. As we come out, we can see we've got the LDA 08 X-ray, so that is all set in. You can see I'm going to do flaps 30, 151 plus 5, be a 156, so it'll be coming in hot. We are 56 miles from Sisters Island, as we've got on the VORs, and what we can also do, the localizer is a 109.9, so we'll get that up ready for us to switch over. Okay, which is set. We can activate that once we pass Sisters Island, and then we can get that all ready to go. So passing through flight level 250 now, as we're mirroring closer to Juneau. We can see that we've got 30 knot winds as we are descending, which should clear up as we get lower down into the airport. So, clamp up the speed brake just a little now as we start to really go on par. So we are on point, we are on the VNAV path, and if we check the vertical bearing, descent 3.3, so you can see that we are now on par for 7,000 above at Sisters Island. So by making the descent sooner, gave us the advantage to come down on the right glide path. So once we take the 007 left turn 5,600, 12.4 nautical miles to Linz, where we make that right turn and come in on the 071, 5,600 feet, and then we are practically going to come straight down. We'll disconnect. Our minimums is going to be 3,200 for 3,175 as the airport's elevation is 25 feet. As we can see right here, touchdown is 25. So we'll turn on the barrel. Three, 2, 0, which is set. Go and do it the first opposite side as well. Which is set. So the aircraft's now going to realign itself as we come back in for the 101, which it should be, with winds as well, which are battling us. The aircraft's just readjusting its position. Okay, so open up the speed brake now as we let the aircraft descend down. Passing through 19,000, get ready to switch the QNHs back over. Okay, on our diesel, got 240 when we get to Sisters Island, which is already set. Currently on the 101 heading. We'll turn onto the 007. Okay, so QNHs can now go back over 29405, which are set. So it should be a nice arrival. The winds have calming down just a little, as it was currently 30 knots, just a little higher. Passing through 16,007 now. Those go for 7,000. Then we'll continue down to 5,006. Check to see if there's any speed constraints. I've got 240, and then when we come in to intercept on the 007 to Linz, we go down to 221, which you imagine is our flaps up. So passing through 15,007 as we get merely closer to our arrival, which is just over to the left as we come in for the approach. Okay, so passing 13,000 feet, we can see that we are going to touch Sisters Island for 7,000 right on point. So speed brakes just a little, just to keep on target. I'm going to slow to 240 in just around 5 miles time. And I'm going to tell the aircraft to carry on as we are using its path. So we'll tell it we want the path, we don't want it to slow down on its descent. As we slow to 240, passing through 10,000 feet now, so we'll put on our landing lights, put on our runway turn-offs, keep our taxis on, and put on the wheel well, we'll keep the fasten seat belts on, and we'll tell the cabin to get ready for our arrival. Okay, so there's our 240. You can see there's the SSR VOR. We're going to make that left turn onto the 007, which we can see here, which would be backtracking, which would be the 177 radial. So we've got links in sight, 5,600 above and 7,000. So we can let the speed brakes back in. Get ready on our descent checklist. So you can see now we've got our pressurization and landing altitude, which is all set. Start switches are continuous, which are set. Approach and fuel briefing, which has been discussed, as we've got everything here. We're coming down for flaps 30, 151, plus 5 will be a 156 as we pass 10,000 feet now. And we'll put the aircraft down as we get ready to start descending. After that, we've also got our speed and altitude bugs, which are checked and set. We've got 7,000 currently for SSR, as we are going to reach our intended target. So we can now go down to 5,600. Still in VNAV path, following the LNAV as we come down. Currently 3.5 nautical miles from SSR, and we'll make that left turn onto the 007. So everything is all set and ready to go for the approach. Altitude and instruments set and cross-checked. QNH 929.45, which is set. 2945, which is set. We'll switch over the courses for the approach, which is 071 coming in, and we're 14 degrees offset, which will be for the 085 inbound course. We'll fly that visually once we come down. We'll disconnect just before our minimums, 3002, and we'll be all ready to come in. So holding 243 now, can switch over the instrument panels to the ILS as we now go into that left turn, and we can now plug the 071 in, which is set. We'll do the first officers once we come round. So there's our other D cell, which will take us to 221 as we come round the bend now. Okay, passing 8,000. Be slowing down to 221. As we can see, there's 221 just prior as to when we come in. So the aircraft's now going to back down onto the 007, which is set. Now we'll get the aircraft to slow down to 221. so coming in now, we can open up the speed brakes as we're going to slow down to 221, which is our flaps up. We check down on our speed, so we've got 3.7 degree glide path and we're coming down for 156, so around about 1,000 feet per minute. So that should be all good as we come in. 3,760 of me. Okay, so we are now getting ready to come in for the arrival, as you can see. So our speed brakes to armed now. It's come down for 6,005 as we're now going to go down.
Thousand to go.
Okay. So we've got 012, which has left us ready to go. As we get ready to intercept, we'll slow down to flaps 5 before we come in. So we can see now that we've got the Juneau for the 071 degree course. We've got the we'll put them in as an ILS, but we only are going to have the locator as we're using the VNAV profile to come down on. So passing 6,000, what we can do now is get ready to go onto the 071, and we can drop down into our flaps 5. 5,008. Let's get ready to go into that right turn. Okay, so there's a VOR lock, which will follow around. Slowing down now, flaps 5, going down to 176. Okay, so follow the localizer around till he comes back in. It's currently 13 miles away. Okay, 5,006, go down to our minimums now. 5,003. Okay, so the aircraft will now start to descend. Go down to flaps 10. And localizer's coming back now. Okay, so we're going to go and meet our next restriction of Barlow, which is 164. So we'll let the aircraft slow down a little bit. Got the airport in sight. There we go, flaps 15, gear down. That should slow our rate of descent down. 3,200, we'll put 3,003 for our minimums, which we can actually do now. Which is set, coming down flaps 15. Can now alter the first officer's barrow as well. The aircraft now gets ready to go. Okay, there's 3,300 set. Got 3,300 set. So we are going to get ready to come in. We're going to be coming down for around about 1,000 feet per minute as we get ready to disconnect the autopilot. So we go down to flaps 30. 3,007 above Bergs on Barlow. So one last swing around, we've got our flaps set, flaps 30, we've got auto brake set number 3, we've got our speeds, which are flaps 30 for 156, we've got our gear, which is down 3, green start switches are continuous, and we are all set for the arrival. So there's 3,004, so what we're going to do now is we're going to disconnect the autopilot, and we're going to disconnect the auto throttle, and now I have control of the aircraft. So coming down for around about 1,000 feet per minute. It's going to fly it visually now. Keeping it nice and stable as we come in. So cabin crew, prepare for landing. Okay, we're on the 071. And then because we're offset from 14 degrees, we'll then turn on to the 085. We've got outer markers to guide us in as well, which should become visible as we get closer to the airport. So we've got 156. So 2500, just putting a little bit of trim. Continue. So continuing down. I'm down for around about 1,000 feet per minute. Okay, we can see the puppies. Keep the aircraft nice and stable now, just minor corrections. .14 knot wind coming from the right. Airport's in sight. Okay, so we'll start to lower the aircraft a little bit more. Add a little bit more trimming. There's 071. Now we'll turn on to the 085. So keeping it nice and stable now.
1,000.
Breeze back on the power.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
As we come in now. So flaps 30. Speed brakes are armed. So quite low on the trees as we need to get down onto the runway.
500. 400. 300. 2.
Okay, as we make that right turn around. Now to come into the airport.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes are up and reversers are active. Okay, apply forward pressure.
80 knots.
Check, reversers can come back in. Manual braking. And there we are guys, down in Juneau Airport. Okay, so we'll brake right here. Okay, which is set. As we just turn off now, we can get the airport charts as we come through. So we're going to take a left turn off of Echo. We can let the speed brakes come back in. And our flaps come back in, and we'll turn off the auto brake once we've made the turn off the runway. And there we are guys, down in Juneau Airport, and that was the LDA X-Ray 08. So yeah, you come down on the VYR lock and the VNAV, and then basically disconnect before your minimums, fly over the mountain, and then in we come. So put on the brakes quick as we come through, turn off our strobes, which we can turn off. We can turn off our runways, runway turn-offs, and the wheel well, take the seatbelt, and now we can turn on off of Echo down onto Alpha as we come in for the terminal. So we'll get the auto brake turned off as well, which is set. So with that all said and done now guys, we'll get the APU started, and then we'll go in for our landing cinematics. So I hope you enjoyed the arrival, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. So we'll get the APU all set up now, ready to come in. Put the start switches to auto now. So don't forget to like and subscribe, help us get to our 2,000 subscriber goal, and I'll see you guys at the gate when we come back in. For now it's time for our landing cinematics, so I'll see you when we get back to the gate. And there we are guys, down in Juneau for the flight of the evening with the lovely Alaska, honouring those who serve. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, help us get to that 2k subscriber goal. And I'll see you all very soon for the next available flight on the channel. So take care for now guys, bye bye.